Now, what's neat about this is that obviously the ES5 way is incredibly complicated and very manual. That's the thing that always struck me about the ES5 way of doing this. It's very manual. You're responsible for doing a lot of your own work when inheriting and implementing prototypal inheritance in ES5. But with new ES6 syntax, you can use the class keyword, which, I mean, just makes sense. It makes perfect sense to be able to use a class keyword when you're constructing things that you want to be classes. And you can use more familiar syntaxes like constructor for creating a function that is to be run when you're calling the new keyword on your class, on your constructor. And then getters and setters for getting and setting property values. And then the keyword extends for actually taking a class and then extending it. All very idiomatic stuff, very super useful, and it, like I said, just makes sense. It's less verbose. I super like it. What can I say? So yeah, I just wanted to correct that little typo. So we can take a look at this. I'll just clear my terminal again. Hopefully this is the same size here. No, it seems to be. I don't know why that happened. Okay, so what you can see here is that this code that outputs the inheritance chain is actually exactly the same as the code down here for ES5. So what this means is that ES6, this sugary syntax that is so much more clean to look at and to use, it's doing the same thing. We can still access all of the same information the exact same way in ES6. It's just syntactic sugar, and it's just making our life easier as developers. So is it useful to know this stuff with ES5? Sure. You're going to come across code like this in the wild because it's not that long ago that we had to do things this way. But if you have an ES6 environment available to you, which it's becoming more and more common, most browsers at this point, their newest versions have supported this for a while now. I highly recommend using it. It's definitely more user-friendly.
So two things. Can you just show the actual ES6 syntax? You were showing like class line extends, but can you just show all of the ES6 syntax?
Sure.
Okay, so there's the animal class on line 4, and then on line 24, that's where it becomes the cat, and then on line 34, that's where it becomes the lion.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. And did you already explain the super keyword?
The super keyword, that replaces the code that we saw before. Actually, quite a bit of code. But basically, super is going to replace specifically this call method that we call in the constructor. So you can think about it as saying, we're going to call super and pass in, like this information, but super is going to know that, like this is pointing to the instance of cat that we're creating here, and this is pointing to the instance of lion that we're creating here. We're just specifying some more information that is specific to this class and the instance that we're creating by passing it into super.